Taiwan. I'm Vincent with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. It's the 9th day of Taiwan's annual Kuang exercise. In Taipei, military police units have practiced reacting to enemy forces using key bridges to break into the heart of the capital. Our reporter Ella Liu was there and has this report.
With defensive obstacles in place, military police quickly gather near a bridge linking Taiwan's capital Taipei with its most populous city, New Taipei, as enemy forces advance. The mission is to stop invading troops that have reached the outskirts of the greater Taipei area from crossing the 700-meter Kuang Bridge into downtown Taipei. The drill is part of the annual Kuang military exercise, the latest in a series of drills testing the military's ability to defend the capital against a Chinese invasion. Military police units responsible for guarding Taipei are mobilized, with drones sent out to track enemy movements before troops move out. Barbed wire obstacles are set up, with simulated mines hidden around them. Troops also rehearse using buses to evacuate retreating forces, while other units attack pursuing enemy forces from the flanks.
透过这种方式，透过这一层一道又一道的主角地带，国军可以逐渐的，一方面消耗迟滞进攻的共军，然后又可以逐渐的把共军引到国军预先规划的环形口袋杀伤阵地。
And then the heavy firepower moves in. Military police clouded leopard armored vehicles are now moving through the streets of Taipei, forming the last line of defense against enemy forces advancing into the capital. The armored vehicles unleash heavy machine gun fire on the enemy troops. While the drill rehearsed a key wartime scenario, experts say it appeared rushed, likely because of the need to minimize disruption to the public's daily lives.
它不可能太早封桥，当然就没有办法按照现有防卫作战计划面。 从桥梁开始实际设计多层主角地带，那再加上毕竟是陈皮时期，它所能动员的兵力跟物资也受到一定的限制。
Military police are playing an increasingly crucial role in the annual Kuang exercise, as Taiwan works to better protect its capital and key infrastructure in the event of a conflict. Hang Shi, Grace Chen, and Ella Liu for TaiwanPlus.
President Lai Ching-te was at the hospital in New Taipei, where civilian-military cooperation was being rehearsed as part of the Kuang military drills. The hospital simulated crisis conditions by securing its underground floors and transforming them into wards for treating major injuries. Later in the day, civilians will practice taking cover during the 30-minute air defense drill across the north of the country. And for the first time, the drill will include a simulated mobile network slowed down. Taiwan's Defense Ministry is reporting a spike in Chinese military activity around the country. The ministry says it detected 18 Chinese warplanes, 11 naval vessels, and 3 official ships operating near Taiwan between Wednesday and Thursday morning. 15 of the aircraft came closer to Taiwan's main island. This week, Taiwan is celebrating 45 years of relations with St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Caribbean nation's prime minister is in Taipei for a state visit, with festivities already underway. Tiffany Wong has more details.
With a 19-gun salute, Taiwan President Lai Ching-te welcomes St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Godwin Friday in his first overseas visit after taking office.
President Lai, thank you. That was an incredible display.
Friday is here to celebrate 45 years of ties between the two countries. His visit has eased concerns that his government would shift recognition to Beijing after ending his rival's 24-year run in office last year.
I am ready to work with you to write the next chapter of this 45-year relationship. I am prepared for partnership.
Later, President Lai thanked the Caribbean ally for its continued support for Taiwan's participation in international organizations. He also pledged Taiwan's support for St. Vincent's development.
未来台湾会和圣文森国在各领域继续深化合作，我很期待透过多元的计划继续增进两国人民的福祉。
Of these diverse projects, Lai highlighted agricultural and youth exchanges, while Friday cited tourism and marine industries as areas of interest. At a state banquet in the evening, Lai celebrated the 45 years of friendship between the two nations.
台湾和圣文森国共享民主自由价值，都了解国家存在的意义。国家存在的意义不在于幅员大小，而在于对信念的坚持，以及对人民的照顾，还有对国际社会的贡献与责任。
As these two small nations celebrate together, their commitment to each other remains steadfast. Hank Shui and Tiffany Wong for TaiwanPlus.
Indonesia is battling wildfires as hot, dry conditions engulf the country. And it's not just humans at risk. One wildlife protection group is working to move endangered orangutans to safe areas. Vincent reports.
A lone figure faces down a wall of flames sweeping the slopes of Mount Bromo, a volcano that's one of Indonesia's biggest tourist attractions. For more than a week, firefighters like this have been locked in combat with this blaze. And since Saturday, officials have had to close the surrounding national park to visitors. At least 9 square kilometers, 2% of the park's area, has been left in smoldering embers. As of Tuesday, there was some hope for getting this fire under better control.
We hope to stop it from spreading any further today, as the hotspots have already been identified and are now being dealt with.
But tourism is key to the local economy, and for many here, each day the park burns is a day of lost income.
The impact of this fire is economic, because tourists cannot come while the national park is closed.
In total, almost 50,000 firefighters have taken up positions against fires across Indonesia's many islands, as the powerful El Niño climate pattern brings dry, windy conditions. Nationwide, more than 1,000 square kilometers are already scorched, despite the efforts of firefighters and helicopter crews. Some authorities have even tried cloud seeding to coax rain from the dry sky. On the island of Borneo, thick haze has closed some schools. And the flames spreading through provinces here have also seen a special kind of rescue mission put into action. Wildlife rangers have been trekking through at-risk forests in search of endangered orangutans that need to be evacuated. It's an operation rescuers have pulled off during past fires on the island. But conservationists know there are always risks, even after the flames are out.
We might not see it all happening at the same time, but maybe even like months after the fire season, where orangutans, because they starve, they don't have enough food, their forest patches have been burned, they might enter plantations and conflict with humans, increasing also the conflict with humans.
Forest fires aren't unusual in Indonesia, but this year's fires have been especially fierce. The last time El Niño affected Indonesia, in 2023, it brought fires too. But the area burnt during the first half of this year is more than double that in the same period of 2023. And it may be some time before all the blazes are out. The rest of August and September will likely see the same dry, windy conditions that have already made 2026 especially severe, bringing a serious challenge ahead for Indonesia's officials and fire crews. Andy Xue and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
On the opening day of the annual Ghost Festival, temples around the country are gearing up to burn massive amounts of joss paper. But one Taipei temple is among many that are taking a more eco-friendly approach to this tradition. Irene reports.
Ahead of the traditional Ghost Month prayer ceremony, believers and tourists are coming to this Taipei temple to pay respects to the city god, or Chen Huangye. Traditionally, they do it by burning joss paper. But for the past 3 decades, there's been a shift in this practice to reduce air pollution in the city. The temple provides smaller bundles of joss paper, collecting them to be burned together by the city government, instead of letting people burn them individually here.
集中到某个量的时候，比如说我的量到了，我就请一个小货车载走，所以没有定期说哪一天。刚开始信众是很难接受的哈，因为我们的民俗传统习惯都已经是这样。但是我们现在做到这20几年来，信众都可以接受，因为第一我们的金子的量也很少。 第二，就让他们知道说，其实很安心，你在这边做的东西，因为现场的这个流程他们都看到。
The initiative aims to reduce the amount of joss paper and incense burned at religious ceremonies each year. The temple has even offered to replace them with packs of rice as a blessing. But as joss paper is meant to honor the ancestors and wandering spirits, some people say they can't give up the practice altogether, but do support government oversight on how it's done.
就是说，因为环保的原因，所以很多地方他们封炉了。但是呢，有的时候我们在为了心里面上的那个安宁哈，那我们就说，就说会想要找个地方，但是我找来找去，大概就是这边的城隍爷
拿香有金子，才对祖先有所好像说，尊重。我们也是都有在做啊，所以我刚才问那个师兄说，这个业是什么时候做？
The Taipei city government says over half of the city's registered temples have joined in. The collected batches will be sent to 3 specialized incinerators, and officials continue to urge people to not burn joss paper at home.
我们这个近5年，从114年到114年的一个清运量，从1200多公吨，已经上升到1600多公吨，大概上升大概近3成。我们会请民众呢，跟我们这边的区公所去索取我们的一个集中烧的专用袋，然后还或是一些我们集中烧的专用贴纸。那针对这个寺庙或是一些联合普渡这种比较多量、比较大量的东西的时候，其实可以通知我们的一个清洁队，那去做定点的一个收运。
The initiative has made it to the national level, with the Environment Ministry launching a project to centralize joss paper burning in every city and county. With local and central efforts working in tandem, temples and officials hope to respect ancestral practices while making them a little better for the environment. Leon Lian and Irene Lin for TaiwanPlus.
People in South Korea are turning to pets for companionships, and they're turning to tarot to better understand their pets. Amanda Stevens has more.
It's a common question animal owners ask themselves. Staring into their furry companion's soulful eyes, they might wonder, what exactly is my pet thinking?
Since this little one has trauma, unlike other dogs, I was really curious. I wanted to know what he was thinking. He sleeps next to me every night and follows me around like a bodyguard. And I was genuinely curious whether that's hard for him. I thought he might get tired. So I was really curious about those kinds of things.
To get the answer to such an elusive question, some in South Korea are turning to fortune-telling. Pet Tarot is a new service that's supposed to offer insight into what's going on in their furry little heads. Some owners even say it's a gateway for connecting with them on a deeper level.
When it comes to communicating with tarot, this is what tarot means to me. If I had previously understood only about 5 simple emotions, such as this one is sick, happy or sad, and so on, tarot now seems to speak to me in at least 20 or 30 different kinds of language.
Like Taiwan, South Korea is struggling with a declining birth rate as education and housing costs rise. As people opt not to have children, pets are offering a different kind of companionship. One fortune teller says that tarot reading for her pets goes beyond blind chance. Instead, it's a way for people to interpret their actions.
Through their sense of smell, they take actions such as placing a paw on a certain part, or if they're more active, lifting their nose. So you can think of it as a method in which we read the cards that they've chosen in that way.
Each tarot reading session with Hwang Soo-kyung costs roughly $14 US. And she says that her clients always come back eager to learn more about their pets. She has designed different decks for different species, like turtles and other reptiles. With ownership in South Korea growing, Hwang offers people a chance to better understand their deep relationships with their pets, letting the tarot cards speak for those that can't speak for themselves. Scott Hwang, Leslie Liao, and Amanda Stevens for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, we leave you with images of beluga whales swimming at a closed marine park in Canada before heading to new homes. I'm Ethan. Take care, and I'll see you next time.